What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker. Across from me, Shane Good. And we are here to speak gibberish and also talk to you about some video games. Ah, man. So we're recording on my Mac because my dumbass forgot my dongle for my mic.
Oof.
So if this sounds off, that is why.
Oof.
But if it sounds better, please let me know because, man, I'm going to fucking return this mic as fast as... But anyway, what have you been playing this week, man?
Dude, I've been playing. So actually, I realized I told you before, we talked about before what I've been playing.
Right.
And Path of Exile, obviously, because that's still a thing. League of Legends, because they dropped that new, the new season Friday.
Right.
So I just played a ton of that. Excuse me, I just woke up. And I've also been playing Battlefield.
Yeah, man. Tell me how that's been going for you, especially on console.
So I fucking hate controllers, hands down.
It's a tough transition, probably more tough coming from mouse and keyboard to controller than vice versa.
It's definitely rough. It's not as bad in some ways, but it's terrible when it comes to like sniping and stuff like that, which is what I like doing. So obviously, I turned off the setting for like snapping people or aim assist or whatever.
Aim assist, yeah.
And it's so much better without aim assist. Because just like when you're in a group of guys or you're like looking at a particular person, you can aim where you know they're gonna be or where they're gonna go, and you can just wait for them to cross through your crosshairs, and then you can take your shot. Versus before, it was like I'd wait for them to get close to where it was, and then my fucking crosshairs would start moving. You're like,
yeah.
What?
It's like you aim down sights, and where you're aiming is not where you're aiming anymore. It's like on another guy that's moving across the screen. You're like, oh, damn, man. Yeah. I've had countless times where I'm just trying to aim down a corridor, and there are multiple targets moving around in that corridor, so my aim assist is like pulling me one way and then another way, so I end up damaging like 3 or 4 guys, but not killing any of them.
Yo.
It's a bummer. But
other than that, game's fun.
Oh yeah, I love that game.
Game's super fun. What about you, man?
That is one of the games I've been playing for sure.
I know, I've been playing it with you.
Yeah, it's great. I'm doing considerably well on that lately. Just kind of grinding away, getting a better KD than I've really gotten in that game ever.
Yeah, me too. Never played it before.
Yeah. So, but the big one I just started last night. I dove into Devil May Cry 5 for the first time.
Nice.
I've played all the games before and really loved DMC, the reboot that they had. Not a lot of people liked the aesthetic or style or what they were going for with that. It was just too different, I thought, from for most people to like juxtapose the gothic nature of the old game and the kind of hyper textualized DMC reboot, but they went back to a sequel for the original series for 5, and it's really cool. Really metal. Like there's constant like metal music playing in the background. When you start kicking ass and getting those S ranks, it just kicks in even more. The theme song starts playing, and it's so visceral and fun. The combat really gets you moving in all kinds of different directions. You never hit the ground. You're just grabbing guys, pulling them on with your arm. And I'm only maybe an hour or so into the game, but the combat's already gripped me. And there are 3 playable characters, and I've only played as 1. So I can imagine where the variety comes in there. So I'm excited to taste a little bit more tonight and come back with some more impressions next week. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, Deborah will be pretty jealous on that one. She's actually played all of the Devil May Cry games before that.
Yeah.
So, and she really enjoys all of them, which is kind of funny because she's more of a button masher when it comes to games like that. But you can kind of like
you can fudge your way through it,
know?
Especially if you play on the lower difficulties. I'm playing on the highest one that's unlocked at the get-go. Like,
yeah,
I assume once you finish a difficulty mode, you'll unlock like the next tier because there's only 2. And so I'm playing a Devil Hunter, and it's still considerably forgiving. You'll get hit, and Dark Souls type damage where like half your bar will go. But
Yeah.
if you're smart about it, you're not going to get hit often. And the bosses so far, I've only faced two, and they've been pretty pedestrian. They haven't been super duper hard, but they do hit like a truck. So you need to make sure that you dodge really, really telegraphed attacks. But so far, I assume that it'll get harder. But
I mean, that does make sense. I mean, you know what that third difficulty is?
No.
It's Kakarot level. Sorry, that's next week.
No, but we are gonna talk a little bit about that later. But first, big topics of the week. I think the biggest one we're gonna start with is the Pokemon Direct that came out this week that announced the first ever paid DLC packages that include a release in June and fall. So this is via IGN. I wrote this a little bit down. Pokemon Sword and Shield's recently announced expansion pass, the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, is packed with more story, new characters, additional outfits, a slew of legendaries, and over 200 Pokemon rolled out over both DLC packs for a total of $29.99. So,
damn, purchase packs.
There's a hot and cold to this because a lot of people are upset that, the whole national dex controversy. Everybody just wants all the Pokemon in the game. People are upset that they're now doling out the Pokemon in paid DLC. So they're going to be adding more Pokemon from the national dex, but it is going to be behind a $30 paywall if you want to catch them in your game. But what they did say was that you're going to be able to trade any of the Pokemon in the DLC packs, even if you don't have them, as long as somebody else has those DLC packs and trades those Pokemon to you. So that connectivity is still there, and there is possibility for you to get all those Pokemon without having to buy the DLC packs. But then again, if you really want to catch them yourself, you have to get that DLC. But let's talk first a little bit about what each of them kind of offers, because I don't know if you looked into it at all.
I very, very vaguely, I did see the announcement itself and saw that it was behind a paywall and was like, an EA move. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, and it is interesting because, the Pokemon Company hasn't really been one to put things behind DLC paywalls. It's never really been like that. So they release almost DLC-like game the following year. It's like Plus Ultra or whatever.
Right.
It adds all these new features, new Pokemon, new storylines, scenarios, and whatever. But so in this first DLC pack, the Isle of Armor, they're including this dojo-like experience on this island area. And what it's showing, it seems like you're going to be training in this almost gym-like space with a few different younger trainers, and you're going to be doing all kinds of crazy island tasks, and it seems a little bit more reserved, whereas the second DLC that's coming out later on in the year, in the fall, is going to be a big expansion part to the wild area. So it's going to be a whole expansive new map for the wild area. There's going to be a dungeon included with puzzles and stuff like that. So that's going to be the larger chunk of this, I think.
Are both these $30 a piece? Or?
It's $30 together. So you'll buy the pack and get
so like a season pass.
Both of the expansions. So
interesting.
I think that it's cool that they're kind of stepping into the future with Pokemon, because before, like I said, they're kind of releasing secondary games and kind of paying that extra paywall for another game that's separate, and you don't get to keep your progress or any of this. It always felt a little disconnected. For Pokemon, it was fine, though, because you're constantly replaying the games, starting with a new team. But now it's interesting where you can go into these DLCs with all your Pokemon, all your progress, and I wonder what the challenge gate is going to be for that. Like, if we're going to start at a really high level, or if things are just going to kind of be brought down to like a neutral playing field, like your Pokemon will go in there, or you can only take certain level Pokemon, or it's a lot of questions arose for me. But the one thing that was ringing true is that at least they're listening to people, and the fact that they're kind of getting the Pokemon that everybody wanted back in there, whether it be behind a paid wall or whatever. They're coming back, and you can get them So they're making steps in that direction to finally get all of the Pokemon in there, and I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the fact that they didn't have them all in there before shows that the game itself. I wouldn't say it's rushed because it's the same exact game, copy and paste almost all the way through. But
it is. It did feel a little rushed, but in some parts of it, it felt like they really put a lot of thought into some aspects of it, and then towards the end of the game, it really did feel kind of rushed. But
yeah, because like when Paul was here and and Anthony, they were talking about the end game for it isn't like there isn't an amazing end game. There really isn't like too much for it.
No, and but this is what that would be filling in. Yeah.
So, I mean, at least the community itself probably will be happy. I would say the big kick would be if they still release another game, like kind of like that filler game.
Yeah.
If they do that, I'm not sure how it would be received.
A lot of people were speculating that they were going to release a Let's Go game for the Johto series of games. There's still no real news on that or what. I guess any real information pointing towards that, but I guess it was just the natural order of things people thought. But that would be an interesting way to go, I think, to like kind of satiate people for now, like they did with the Let's Go game before this full entry. And if they kind of went on like a 2-game cycle like that, we'll make this more mainstream game that people can get introduced to each new generation this way again, and then they'll have the big mainline franchise, and they'll bring in like a whole new slew of Pokemon, new Pokedex, and whether or not they'll include all the Pokemon in each new installment is getting bigger and bigger because there are a lot of Pokemon to include. So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely could see Pokemon in itself almost going a Fortnite direction, like in the future.
Fortnite, huh?
Yeah, well, like a platform where they release content where the base is free, and then you either slowly kind of release DLC that's like a cheaper amount where you can buy a season pass, and it's like it's like $30 up front, but it gets you like that full year. Or it's like $20 up front, it gets you the full year, and the majority of things that you can buy are like microtransactions for costumes, or like microtransactions for like different kind of like skins and stuff like that, because it's such a good model. The only thing is, I mean, Pokemon has one of the largest player bases out of any game, and it's at such a wide range of spectators that I just don't know if it would work.
Do you remember that game they were talking about a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
Temtem?
Yeah.
I think that if Pokemon adopted something along the lines of that, but with the polish of Nintendo behind them, what you're talking about would absolutely work. I don't think they're risky enough yet to take that kind of a risk with such a big franchise as Pokemon, but it is. They did announce that I just picked out the Pokemon Sword and Shield stuff from the Pokemon Direct, but they did announce that they have Pokemon Home coming, which is like their big connected online infrastructure for trading and collecting Pokemon. And they did announce the spin-off remake of the Game Boy Advance game, the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Oh, really?
And that's sort of like a top-down, like by the numbers RPG.
Right.
And so it does show that they're willing to take risks on things that they know are gonna. I guess you wouldn't really call it.
I was just saying it's more calculated.
Yeah,
but,
it's much. That's what I'm saying. They're going to calculate everything, and I think it's just going to take them longer to push in that direction. But I could see it being a really big deal if Pokemon really went in that direction, and I think it would take a lot of pressure off the developer because they could have a longer rollout for a whole Pokedex. They could release like 10 Pokemon a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Here are the new slew of Pokemon that we're adding this week, and it would be a big event every week, and everybody would be talking about it. Everyone's like, "Oh, who's coming this week?" And they could do the "Who's that Pokemon?" or something on their Instagram.
Right.
And it's like, "Oh, next time you swipe over, it's like, oh, well, there it is." All kinds of great ideas, but
yeah. Also, if that happens, trademark here, you heard it first.
Oh yeah. Man, if we don't get a piece of that, Game Freak, you're going to be hearing from me. But anyway, on to bigger and better news, if you can believe that. A lot of people were hyped up about this. Rocksteady seemingly teased a new Batman game on their Twitter with an image, an emblem of what seems to be Gotham PD logo mixed in with some Court of the Owls bullshit. I don't really know the deets, but I guess the tweet said simply capture the night.
Interesting.
And everybody's speculating it. The tweet's since been redacted, I guess. So that adds a new layer of information or mystery on top of everything.
When companies do that, man, it always gets me.
So I mean, there's not much here, but I'm pretty excited about it because I haven't played Arkham Knight. I have it because it was part of the PlayStation Plus Games of the Month a few weeks ago. But yeah, I never got around to playing it. But I loved Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Man, I loved those games. So if they keep going in that direction and make this game even better than those and bring back a little bit of that like Metroidvania-y type of stuff that was in Asylum, I'd be so down for this.
I will say it's almost like an interesting strategy. Like, people forget about your game, but it was a solid game. So if you tweet something about a new game coming out, people will play your old game again, and people will pick your old game back up, especially if there's like a sale on it when you do it. You know, like
that's one of the things you notice about like the Xbox games with gold or the PlayStation games with plus is like when you see, say, Neo. Yeah. Neo comes out for PlayStation Plus. You're like, what's going on there, huh? Yeah. And then they released the demo for Neo 2. You're like, oh, okay. So we're kind of escalating things. And then
exactly.
It's like, and then they announce all these exclusivity stuff for PlayStation. It's like, all right, see, now they got you on the hook with Neo. And then they announced the beta for Neo 2. They got you in there, and that's really fun. That's even more than what you got in Neo, and now they got you in. And it seems like that's kind of what they're doing here. They're just sending on a line. They gave you Arkham Knight a few months ago. I think it was November. I'm just like, oh yeah, you like that? How about this tweet? Oh, all right. We'll see. We'll see in a few months. E3. Let's go.
Yeah. Skate 4.
Rock City. Skate 4.
EA, release Skate 4.
Batman's playable. You can skate in the Court of Owls.
Yes.
But yeah, there wasn't too much there. But I did really enjoy those games, so I wanted to give that a bit of a highlight. And it's one of the bigger things that happened this week. So
yeah,
kill me. It's a slow week. But we just wanted to end on a little bit of speculation and some good old-fashioned anime hype and talking about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's coming out next week. I got mine pre-ordered.
You pre-ordered?
Yeah, I've completely changed my tune. I was talking about this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was bumming on it.
You were debating it, dude.
I was hurting on it, and I think it was because of when I played Xenoverse 2. I was just so not really disappointed. I knew what to expect, so I guess I was a little disappointed, but I knew what to expect, so I shouldn't have been. Playing Xenoverse 1 and then going to play Xenoverse 2, they're practically the same game. It's just
it's a new paint.
Yeah, just different scenarios. And what I didn't realize about this next title is that it does, like, a lot of it does look similar. Like, if at first glance, if you just kind of mull over, you're like, oh wow, we're shitting out Dragon Ball Z games now.
Yeah.
But I watched a little bit on it. I took the time to like go through some of the footage and some of the stuff that they've shown on IGN over the last few weeks. And it kind of turned a corner for me because, one, I love fucking Dragon Ball Z. I can't get enough. Just that personifies anime to me from a young age. But there's something about it now being like defined as an RPG, and you have only like a select few playable characters that you're going to be able to dole out these like huge amounts of time into making their stats perfect and all this. It harkens back to, you remember the Dragon Ball Z games they had on Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, I do.
It's like a 3D version of that, and I didn't realize that I wanted that
I didn't realize.
Until I thought back on those games. I was like, damn, I had a really fun time with those games, even though they were really kind of bad. And you never really, like, the fights always, you were just like ping pong balls and you're like bouncing off each other, and it was still fun. But this is that in a 3D space, and even though a lot of the stuff still seems like that 3D fight arena stuff that you've been getting ever since Tenkaichi. I think no other anime franchise can do it as well as Dragon Ball Z can, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I probably won't pick this one up. It's not, I played the first universe. I didn't play the second one because I didn't have the money to get the second one when it came out. But it's very much, it looks good. I have a ton of friends that are going to play it, and I'll just play it through them. I'll watch their streams, and
absolutely.
I'll have information on the game, but as far as firsthand, I just don't know if I wanna put the money into kind of the same game.
So I should have prefaced this with was I did buy it with gift cards. I got a bunch of gift cards for Christmas, so that's where that came from. But I was deciding on whether to choose Sekiro or this. And I was like, oh man, Sekiro got so much love last year, and I'm gonna play that game for sure.
Yeah, I'll buy you a new controller afterwards.
Yeah,
you're gonna need it.
But where Dragon Ball Z turned the corner for me in watching the footage that they had, it was the characters and the canon stuff that they're adding, like all the little bits and pieces and the retelling of the story that I really haven't sat down and watched Dragon Ball Z in years, and I haven't played a story-based Dragon Ball Z game in years really either, because Xenoverse is just its original story. So
I think the one that came out on PS2, like in the center of the PS2 slave period, I forget what the fuck it's called.
It's either one of the Budokais or Tenkaichi games.
Yeah.
The Tenkaichi games actually did follow the storyline pretty tightly, and then they'd have like little offshoot missions where you could, like, a scenario where you play as Majin Vegeta and you kick the shit out of Goku or whatever.
Those were always fun.
Yeah. Majin Vegeta, man. Something about him in all those fighting games, I was just like, man, he's so powerful.
It's true.
But anyway, that I'm on it, man. I'm ready for it.
All right.
Got it pre-ordered. I had like $50 in gift cards or whatever I just put towards it. I was like, I'll pay $10 to play Dragon Ball Z, sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. You know what else you should pre-order?
What's that?
Nothing, but you should subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our Facebook page.
Well, I already do, but there's...
Oh, you do? Who else doesn't?
Pretty much everybody else on the internet. So, if you could, like, comment, subscribe, share everything that we do, even as stupid as this podcast is, we need the love.
Yeah. Get
us in your lives. Get us in your friends' lives. We'll get better, I swear. We'll catch you next time.
Peace. Peace.